Let's talk about why I gave up alcohol, even though I did not want to in any way, shape, form, or capacity. It felt like the one thing that was always there for me, comforted me, somehow always showed up for me and did things for me that no one else ever had come close to doing for me, was being ripped from my death grip around it. It was not easy. It was not a willing release. Okay, for me, I drank alcohol every single day for over 4 years, morning to night. Prior to that, it was a little less consistent, a little less than every day, but it quickly grew into every single day. Getting rid of alcohol was the scariest thing I've ever done in my whole entire life, which I realize how ironic that sounds, because now with the perspective that I have, it was the best thing I've ever done this far in this lifetime, but by a million. I had known that I had a problem, but it's really easy to quiet that voice with alcohol. So you'll get little glimpses of thoughts. You'll get these quick, very, very fleeting passing thoughts of like, maybe I should stop, maybe I should slow down, maybe this is a problem, maybe this is controlling me, maybe I'm addicted to this, maybe this is affecting things around me. But then you try to go without it and realize how incredibly tough and like heartbreaking and emotional and horrific that experience is, that you just end up picking it back up. At least that was my experience, speaking from my experience personally. Going back to this headspace now that I have been alcohol free for over 4 years, which is just about the same amount of time that I was addicted to it in the way that I was, is hard, because I have spent 4 years putting myself in a place that isn't that girl and isn't that mindset. And I've done work and on myself, and I've done therapy, and I've worked at a rehab, and I've just completely reframed how I view myself, the world, addiction, and alcohol. So to put myself in this headspace and talk about this is actually challenging, because I have to go back to who I was when I was that girl, and I have removed myself so far from that girl at this point. But the point of this video, I guess, like the message I'm trying to convey, is there was no this is it, aha, if I quit alcohol now, everything will be better. If I quit alcohol, this will be the solution to all my problems. That didn't exist. That didn't happen for me. I had been in 2 car accidents at that point, both of which I was the only one involved, which is something I've talked about in depth on here before. So I don't want you guys to think that I am talking about this because I'm talking about this in a somewhat casual way, that I have not done the work, done things, forgiven myself for those actions. This is not casual to me. Those things are not casual to me, what I did in my addiction, in my alcoholism. I am very, very aware of the choices that I made and how horrific they were. After my second car accident, I was in my car upside down, trapped in it, and I genuinely thought I was going to die. I couldn't get out. I thought that the car was going to catch on fire. That's something I still deal with when I drive my vehicle, and it's something that I'm working through in therapy. And I remember getting out of the car, and the police were there, and the ambulance was there, and my mom showed up, my aunt showed up, and I broke up with my boyfriend at the time, who is now my husband. A lot happened that evening. They took me to the police department to book me, and after that, we went to the hospital, and I still hadn't fully came to the decision that I was going to quit drinking. I was toying with that idea much more seriously than I had, but by the time I got home that evening, I decided that I was going to try, that this was my last ditch effort, that it was live like this for the rest of my life until it ended, and it was pretty close to probably being ended the way that I was living, or try it. My last ditch effort to see if it improves my life in any way, shape, or form, because the life that I am living currently does not entice me in any way to stay on this planet. And I've talked about that again before. So I ended up quitting cold turkey. I have an entire playlist, actually. I documented my journey from day 3, I think it was. I got on here and asked for advice. That was in 2021. It's 2025 now. I'm married, sober. We had a sober wedding, completely removed from all of the activities and people and things that I did and participated in when I was an active alcoholic. And I stand by the fact that it was the greatest decision I ever made in my life, even though it was the hardest decision. And it was also a hard decision to make, not just a hard decision to fully execute, start to finish. But I feel very grateful that my journey was pretty cut and dry. I ended up going to the doctor like 3 or 4 days later after the accident. I was going through pretty intense withdrawal. They gave me a medical taper, which this is all documented again on here underneath sobriety info. I think there's like 300 parts, just because it's a lot of my sobriety check-ins, but also everything that has happened to me and every obstacle that I've come across that I've had to figure out how to navigate newly in sobriety. I started running out of news, like new things, so I don't post as much, but just to know that if you're struggling with the decision to get rid of alcohol, that's the first step, okay? Because you are making a decision and having that realization now that it is not serving you in the way that you want to be. If you have that pull on your heart, if you have those thoughts coming to your mind, I wish someone would have told me that that means that it's your calling. Because if something is your calling, it will keep calling you.